All right, so today we want to talk about the Collagen Marketing Kit because I know you guys are excited about Life Plus. I've got my bottles on order. And let's just find out who here has actually been using it. Just type in the chat if you've actually been using it for a while. And I know there's some pretty cool results going on out there. Debbie Tucker's finger. Is it your thumb, Debbie, or your finger? Can bend properly. Mary's on second bottle. Right on. So we want to talk about the thumb. That's what it was. Right on. Ways that you can get people to look into Life Plus. There we go. Let me just get my volume down. And more importantly, really expand people into the greater, your greater ecosystem for total wellness, going beyond simply one product. So even though we're focusing on collagen, this is really to help you to create a customer base who are buying a great majority of things. So again, it is the current focus, but the real goal is really building a wellness audience that can grow into multiple Shaklee categories over time. You've heard the saying, Shaklee's terminology is total wellness. So that's obviously going to be their other product categories. This can be a great gateway. Now there's different ways of sharing. There's product-led, education-led, struggle-led, meaning you're leading with, whatever the concern is at the moment. And then there's like demo-style content that can all work. So I went to TikTok and searched out and found Neha, I believe is how we'd say her name. And you can see she's got a very product focused. She's showing the product off in almost every one of her videos. I believe she was originally with Modere, and some of it's in English and some of it's not. You notice how she's got a link to her WhatsApp, or not a link, but she puts it in there, how people can reach out to her with some text over top of it. If you go and you look at her bio, her link tree, you'll be able to see you can actually move into, I think it is anti-inflammation, she puts it in there. Actually, in this one she talks about gummies, but down here she's got links to her online shop. So that's kind of the journey there from just sharing information about how she uses the product. So that's what I would call product-led. I'd say demo style, you could kind of consider that as well, versus education or story style. So story-led is going to be more like your experience. What you guys are seeing some of us doing that now. Like if you're following Debbie Tucker, she's here tonight. And that's what we've got on her story right now is her experience. We've been doing that for Anne Salancy and many others. So the one problem though is product-only content can possibly feel repetitive. Education only may not convert, and story only may lack a bit of direction, and then just kind of random posting does not create a pathway. Now, I'm just starting off with social as the main method of letting people know what's going on out there, because that's really, it is the main method of letting people know that, what you have and who you are. So you need content that does several jobs. Now, not all content is social driven, but social as a platform gives you a place to put your content to be seen. So it's important to remember that. So you need content that does several jobs. So product content creates visibility. Story content creates trust. Education content creates understanding and can also creates trust. Conversation content creates engagement. Lead capture creates follow-up because it connects people. to lead capture. Email, SMS community, having that, which is what we help you guys with, creates a relationship. And then the hub site gives it a place to live. So we're suggesting don't just promote a product like Life Plus or any of Shaklee's products. Really, you want to build a trust and conversation system around the product. So this is what the audience is actually thinking about. They're not waking up thinking I need a bottle of Life Plus if they've never heard of it before. They're thinking about healthy aging and mobility, their bones, their knees are hurting when they're standing up or cracking, their skin. They're thinking about recovery, vitality, and so on. So we want to include a mix of product visibility content. And we recommend we put those in stories or your retention group. So stories in like Facebook profile or Instagram. And you typically want to put it in a way that's more of my experience using this product, more curiosity. So you're not really talking like my product is so great and it has all these certain specific educational pieces. And that's one thing that Kristen, maybe do you want to share, because she's smiling about that. Do you want to unmute and just say a little bit about how it can be tricky to get people to kind of get away from the educational stuff, right? Where we want to, especially Shaklee's science driven, and I'm not against that because we're, that's sort of what we've been doing all along. But what are your thoughts on that, Kristen?
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of in a unique situation in that we have the science, and of course we are all science nerds, so we love it.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing is usually people when they're first introduced to a product, they don't really care too much about the science yet. It's something that comes later on as they get deeper into the product line. So really leading with the struggle piece and what's the benefit for them first, rather than talking about like hydrolyzed hydrolyzed collagen and what that means. Um, it makes a better point and it's something that can draw on them a little bit. So yeah, leading with the struggle, which can be a struggle at first because we get excited about the science, right? Like it's kind of neat when you learn about all of it and how it works and what all the molecules are that do the things. But for somebody who's looking at it for the first time, they're not too concerned about that yet. But give them time and they will turn into science nerds too.
Yeah, right on. So having that mix of content, knowing and which space to put it on is important. So here's the list again. Product visibility, using stories, either personal or borrowed, educational posts, curiosity posts. So again, you don't show the product in that case. Lifestyle content. So lifestyle content is just kind of like how you're living your life, which will have no product at all. Conversation starters and then direct invitation. So a direct invitation would be inviting someone to come to a live event or to download your ebook or join your Facebook group, something like that, your community. All right, so I want to talk actually before I get into this next one here. I want to talk a bit about our story selling system here. So this is something we've been helping our coaching or our content studio clients with. And we want a way where we can take one key story, an experience you've had with something. So whether that's for many of them, actually, we started off with the ageless sculpting wand, but we're already moving some into their collagen story. Some don't have much of a story yet, so we're waiting a little bit. But we then actually are helping them to develop a blog post around that by interviewing them. So we do what's called story extraction. So we meet with you, we interview you for about 30 minutes. You share all your stuff. We use we put AI or put that into AI. And that then just cleans up your story. So it's still yours, your words, but it just smooths it out a little bit. And that allows us to then convert it into a blog post, which has a lot of benefits by having a blog post online. For one thing, it gives a place for people to read your stuff that's connected to you, and they don't have to be in Facebook or Instagram. So it's platform agnostic. And there are lots of people that they don't want to be on Facebook or they don't want this or that. So this makes it yours. Also, it does allow you to get found through AI search, which is really the new search now going forward. People are quite often searching for things via AI as well as helping you with SEO. So that's kind of a core piece of the background. Then what we do is we will help you create a script from that for a reel. And reels are still one of the most used features on Facebook and Instagram. And then we will also create feed posts and story sequences. So those of you that may not be familiar with that, so it's like, when you go to make a story and you'll put up a photo of yourself, but you put a couple more photos up, those are called story sequences or story slides. And we can also build like an asset, like a handout or something relevant to that. All that then gets connected to the blog, as well as to personalize an email that we already have in the system for you, but we can tweak to let them know that, hey, also check out my new post about my experience with, ABC product. And so what this does, the outcome of this is it builds trust, educates and inspires, increases engagement, drives traffic, grows your community, and just supports more sales. So really what we're doing is, again, using one story that then gets pushed into quite a variety of spaces, and we're finding that to be very effective. So that's a bit about story selling. And so just again, as we had in the slide here, so this is kind of just a little visual example of having the blog post, which then gets converted into a feed post. So feed meaning it's going to go on your Facebook feed or Instagram feed. It's not a story. It's not a reel, so it's not going in the Reels ecosystem. By the way, I'm just going to slide this back here for a minute. I'm going to make sure that when I share, I've got audio on. Oh, it is not. Okay, I'm going to stop share for a minute. There is audio to this, and it is not allowing me to share sound. How about that? Okay, I can't share sound, so I don't know what's up with that. But Kristen, were you able to hear that when I played that a little bit?
Not like you can hear their sound, but you can't hear what she's
Yeah,
saying.
it's like way over there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure why, but anyways, no worries. You can read the captions. So that's the idea. I won't get into too much more. By the way, that was built with AI. This is an example of a story slide. And then tweaking the email to also share that personal story. And then finally, a text message. Now, we actually created an SMS broadcast text message for one of our content studio clients. And she ended up selling, I think it was 12 bottles of Life Plus within the next couple days. And all we did was just make a simple little question. If they've used Life Plus, she's actually sold over 30 something, I think, since then. So that's a little bit about that. I wanted to share a few other things here. So this is the dashboard of YFP in the back office. And we've actually been working on this for many, many years. So we've finally rolled out 7.0 for those of you that haven't been around in a while, which is the faster, more feature-rich system. Well, this is where you connect to the emails that we write to help educate your people about Collagen. This is the smart send I was telling you about, like what we helped Nancy with to send out text broadcasts. And we've actually almost finished the privacy policy and the terms of service and the little special modal we need to allow you guys to register a toll-free number so you can do SMS marketing properly. Now, here in my back office, if I go to my website Quick View, I can click and go right to the hub site, as I mentioned earlier. And here you can see Nancy's hub site. So we wrote her a blog post so you guys can get an idea of what I mean. So do you see how somebody could go to your blog or to your homepage, and in this case, she's talking about her experience using the sculpting wand. And she talks about why she tried it. and what her first experience was, what her impression was, what results she noticed, and what she thinks made the difference. Her honest downsides, which is really builds more trust. She shows a before and an after. A little bit about her philosophy on aging well. And we built all that together with her in our Content Studio program, and also using AI to help us with that. So again, if I go back to the story selling sequence, you can see at the center is building the blog post. Then we created those story slide sequences for her, just in a different format where it's in the 9:16 size, like as you can see here. And here's an example of that. This one is just one image, but it's actually, we would create these in separate images. So what we would do is we actually would get you guys to send us your photo, and then we would just say, you know, put this person in the photo. So I want to try this. I'm not saying the photo might look weird, but let's try it out just for a bit of fun and show you guys how this works. Who would like me? Just say me. If you've got a photo that's recent in Facebook, I could grab. Let's see if we can show how we can stick you in a photo like this. This post, obviously, we would need to interview you, find out your personal story to really make this work. But we're going to have a bit of fun here. So go ahead and type in the chat if you want to be our guinea pig. I was going to say victim, but Brenda Smith Sellers. Okay, let's try Brenda Smith Sellers. So I've just got to find you, Brenda, in my there we go. And let's see if I can get an image that's going to be good enough. Maybe we could use that. Okay, so this is like a glam portrait, so I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. Just as an example, let's try putting Brenda in that sequence using as close to her likeness as possible. Let's see how that looks. All right, so let's see what we get out of that. Normally we would have you actually take a specific photo. I wouldn't try to like jam you in a pre-made photo, but we'll just wait for that to cook up. And while that's cooking up, I'm going to show you something else. So if I go into my back office, if I can find that, this is the other space I can go to, is the resource center, and you will see this is where we're storing content for you, like the role of collagen. So we're actually making generic style. When I say generic, meaning it's not personal to you, it doesn't have your photo in there. So we want you to actually have both, where you can put your personal experience on how you use something, and then this is where we put in the more educational content. So story-based content is in your blog, and then back inside the resource center, this is for education, and again, generic content. So this connects to your emails when you're sending out an email or your newsletter, but we can also connect it directly to your personalized stuff if we're doing that for you. And the other thing that we're doing is, if you go up here and we go to sections, you will see the video library. We are putting in, we don't have it all in yet, so that's why I'm doing this. So here's a story or a video that'll be showing up soon in your video library. You guys might have seen this in my social space.
Naturally shift over time, especially for men. Even small drops in testosterone can make workouts harder and daily energy feel lower. Support.
That one's on a different topic, but this is collagen.
Most people think collagen support is only about adding collagen back into the body. Here's another side of the story. Collagen.
Share on the more for sharing the audio.
Oh, is it working now? No? Are you saying I should do something? I'm getting some technical assistance here. More, okay.
Share sound.
I don't see a share sound on this, but I could try here. up here under advanced computer audio, but I don't think it's going to share my screen though. All right, so my point, so we don't get lost in the technology here, was we're creating content for you that's in your resource center that can be linked through emails, through SMS posts, through content that we help you create. So we're doing both. Remember how I said education-based, story-based. By the way, check this out. Look at how this ended up. There you go, Brenda Smith Sellers. What do you think about that? I think that's not too bad, right? So we went from, we created, actually in the beginning, it started like this, a completely different type of bottle, but I wanted it to have this kind of bottle. So it put it in that bottle. And then now look at that, Brenda. So you see how we can actually, working with you guys, we can take your photo, take a product and put you in a scene you're not actually in, and turn that into a story sequence, meaning this would actually be 4 distinct images that you would put into a story. So these are some of the kind of the cool things that are happening now that we're doing in what's called Content Studio. I wanted to share some other things out there. So unfortunately, I don't know what's the deal. I'm going to put on my Bose so at least the sound will be closer to you guys. See if you can hear it maybe. Check this girl out. And I'm just showing you this not because of her product, but just look at the way she's showing off collagen.
Why do I take collagen every single day? To improve the hydration of my skin, to improve joint mobility.
Can you kind of hear that, Kristen?
To improve my hair, my skin, my nails, my gut lining. We stop producing collagen in our 20s. So I supplement with collagen every single day. And when you re-supplement with collagen, the skin's elasticity is going to improve.
So you got the idea. So in her case, we call that a talking head video. She's just talking to the camera, but she's actually, pouring the product.
If you're spending money on Dr. Yoon, how do you know if you've got a high quality?
Turn that down.
College.
Do not trust collagen supplements.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you waste your money.
This is one of the things that I wanted to kind of say to you. Is that, guys, you need to know the other side of what people are saying.
I'm Dr. Charles. I'm on a mission to demystify and de-influence skincare. Today, we need to talk about why most collagen supplements are scamming you. Maybe you're new to skincare, but
you can't just eat a sheep's eyeball, cow's eyeball, a human eyeball. You can't be eye for an eye. You have a kidney problem. You can't cure your kidney disease by eating kidney. It just doesn't work. You got a collagen problem? Eating collagen's not going to fix it. It's the same thing. You have to build your collagen from within. Original MM info. And I know I sound like a broker.
So you guys do need to know about some of the other sides of this. People are reading this, seeing this kind of stuff. Maybe some not, but I also wanted to show you this. So look at Nicole Woolsey. Now she has, it doesn't say here, but I think she's got 11,000 followers. Yeah. She put out a post, 81 likes, 19 shares. A lot of those are going to be within Shaklee itself, but I wanted you just to kind of get a feel of, look at how many comments this guy got on that video.
This is exactly why I am always recommending.
I want you to try this tomorrow morning. Just add one.
All you do is just go up there and do a hashtag collagen in the search, so you guys get a feel of what else is being said out there. Now, when I go to Instagram and I do a search, you can see. And this part of the reason we do this is the research we do that helps us to understand what's being said, what's working for other people. It's how we vet information. So you may want to do a little bit of that market research and see a bit about that. And then that's how. So now either you can do that, or you let us do that, and you just use the material that we create for you. And with you. So that said, let's just take a few questions and see, or what comments do we have, Kristen, that maybe people might need some guidance or help with. Yeah, and hopefully, Brenda, we can get you back into Content Studio. We've got beautiful wellness community built for you, and we want to see you start getting some traction going on that. Or Kristen, what do you think that I might have missed that they, might be needing help with?
No, I think
One
you
thing I will
covered it
say is
pretty
this,
well.
some people, remember Kristen, some people thought it was just all about doing reels, right? But we've really expanded beyond that and realized we need to help you guys with your stories, your feed posts. Or you often don't do them, or if you do them, it's very sporadic. Or you just sort of like fall back into, look at the product, look at the product, look at the product. And you're not going to create a group like that.
There was one question kind of relating.
Sure.
Red was asking in the images, because the images, the liquid was clear, and we know that the BioCell is red. She's wondering if you could change the color, and yes, you can. You just ask chat to do it, and it'll make it all red for you. I tried it out.
Yeah.
It works very well.
Yeah, there you go. So Pam, who came a bit late, Pam, welcome. So we're just talking a bit about some of the research that we've done, and I guess this would be the core message that I would have is, as much as collagen is amazing, we really are trying to help you guys build a business based on total wellness, right? Where you have a customer base that doesn't just simply take collagen, but they also wash their bodies, right? They use the skincare, they take the nutritional supplements. The old terminology was they shackleize their home. We don't really use that so much for customers, but we want to help you to create a scenario where that happens. And one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that we're helping you to create conversations through content. So the type of content we want to help you with is typically story-based. So I would say this. Yeah, you have it all, David. David, you got it all. That's right. You just may be a little bit early in the content because we've been helping you with the Reach Out and Reactivate campaign, David, and the Dream 100, kind of that initial stuff. So, by the way, Susan, how did your video do? How did your story do? Yeah, Debbie Tucker had 379 views on my post today. Right on. That's awesome. Your feed post is public. That's cool. You won't know who viewed it unless they commented. You will only know that with stories, which, by the way, is another beautiful thing about stories. And something I realized is that you can still see, I've been saying after 24 hours you won't know, but on your mobile device, you can go back and look. I went back as far as a year, and I can see who viewed my story as far back as a year, maybe more. And the beautiful thing is this, when we create you a story slide sequence of like 5 slides, what happens is you on the say the 4th slide, if somebody will make it to the 4th slide, they are a fairly somewhat potential prospect because they've actually taken the time to go from slide 1 all the way, that drops down significantly. But if you start with 60 people looking at slide 1 and you end up at 20 at the end, potentially those 20 are either your biggest fans or they're people that are prospects worth putting into your prospecting tracker. So yeah, you can put the grandson's racing season in your personal Facebook profile. We don't call it a page, your profile. So you can definitely do that. Sharon is asking, do you recommend multiple hashtags in both Instagram? I just saw some guru guy or whatever said that hashtags are dead. I don't know what to say about that. I think it doesn't hurt to do a couple, but Kristen maybe is the better one to say about that. How may we find the story or history on our phones? Well, Susan will have to take care of that in coaching. I wouldn't want to explain that now. Was that a favorite but not in our examples? Yeah, so for me, hashtags are more of a logistical tool because it's an archiving tool. Like as a librarian, how do you put a book away without having labels and categories and whatnot? So that's really what a hashtag does, is it makes it easier for content to be found and sorted. So I feel there's value in hashtags, but I think the way they used to do it, where there's like a bazillion hashtags, I'm pretty sure that is definitely dead. So yeah, so I'm not a hashtag pro, but what I just heard recently is that the number one statistic is, for reels anyways, is watch time. How long are people watching your videos? So I don't know if hashtags are doing a better job making sure that videos get shown to the right person. Like if I'm doing a video on allergies, if somebody types in allergies, are they going to see my allergy videos? I don't know. When I go to the Explore now, right, Kristen, the search is kind of lame. When I type it in, it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
even
kind of
show me a
different.
big list anymore.
No, not really. Hashtags have changed a lot, especially in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're still somewhat relevant. But I'm noticing like especially like TikTok, for example, you used to be able to put a laundry list of hashtags. They
Right,
now limit
right.
you to 5. So if you're gonna use them, I don't think you need to use them on every post. There might be some posts that would be relevant, but keep them very specific, like 2 to 3, maybe 4 max is plenty. Um, and they're really going on like SEO and keywords more now than hashtags.
And Cody
So
just put in something interesting. I don't know where you got that, Cody, but that they actually analyze the video's audio, on-screen text, and captions. So, yeah. So I don't think it's like the end of the world if you don't use them, but something to consider. Let's just find out who here is posting a story 3 times a week. I'd love to find that out. Just type in me. Way to go, Kristen. Who's posting a story? So a Facebook story. Susan, yes. Anne, yes. Good for you. Christine, nice to see you, Christine. Not that often, but more often than before. Good for you. And who here feels like they don't really know how can I post something that ends up in a sale if I'm not just posting about my product? Do you guys feel that way? Like if I don't just post a picture of Life Plus and say it's wonderful, buy it, how you ever going to sell a product? Do you ever think like that? And the answer to that, by the way, is it's really all about creating conversations. Okay, so you could post really about anything that's interesting to you or someone else. What matters is you post engaging content that people actually are interested in seeing, because if nobody engages, nobody's going to see that post. So that's the number one thing. You just got to put in cool stuff people are going to engage with. This is a very high level way of saying this, but great stuff people engage with that can lead to conversations. And in those conversations, that's when you guys need your skill set of how can you take a conversation and then turn that into something that is a booking. Like, hey, let's get together and I could talk about something, or can I send you something, an invite? That's the bottom line with that. So for me, don't be afraid to share how you're using your BioCell. Just make a short little video, hold up your phone, make a short little video and post it in your story with you just pouring it in your spoon and saying, I'm taking this stuff because they said it was going to help my knees. And you could do it kind of like, like you're doing market research. And I don't know if what they're saying is right. So follow me on my journey and let's see if this stuff works. And you could do like day 1. I'm trying it today. There it is. Tastes okay, blah, 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 right? And then you could do it day 10. I'm trying it again. I've been doing it every day. I've been good. Haven't noticed anything yet. So I don't know if these guys are just telling me, a bunch of lies or what. Day 20. Hey, I noticed a difference. Something is happening. And share that journey. It can be just as easy as that kind of content. Well, those are the kind of things that we help you with in Content Studios. So, yeah, way to go, Brenda. Dawn Santon. Yeah, it'd be nice to see you back in, Dawn. Let's get you back in Content Studio. We built your wellness community. So also, we've gone out and we built many of your communities. And then what happens, though, we find is you guys have a community, but you're not getting anybody into the community because you don't have a visibility engine. And that is the biggest challenge now is people just don't know you exist. So they don't even know to join your community. So we want to find a way to help you with that. Bonnie Price, would you like to know more? Do we have Bonnie's info? Would love to help you as well, Bonnie. And actually, so over the last 2 years, I've gone out and I've been recruiting and building our team here at YFP for that one purpose is I realize I'm going to need more humans to help me help you guys so that we can work with you directly. Whether that is, some of you don't even know like where the story is in your phone. The most basic of things, and don't feel embarrassed about it. You're not the only one like that. I didn't know how to do stories in the beginning, so some of you just don't know any of that, and you need that one-on-one support. And that's what our MIPs help with, or what's called Marketing Implementation Part. With that said, we're going to wrap it up. Let you guys go. Thanks so much for being here. Until then, have an amazing weekend. Bye for now.